Why do I look like I'm in the 80s?
Because
You look like you're in the 80s. Yeah. I'm like full house over here.
Hi guys! Today we actually have our best behind the vine episode. I'm just telling this right
At least for us, it's the best.
It has to do with food, as you can see.
There's every doubt about our ethnicity.
Anyways.
You should open your beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have all this food here from this place called Shanghai Tokyo in Natick. We got some sushi, we got some dumps, we got some string beans, we got some curry and broccoli, and we got some udon noodles. We also have our drinks. I have a India Pale Ale, an IPA. It's called Strong Female Lead.
That's right. Main character energy.
Yes.
Well, that's great because March is Women's History Month anyway. So shouts out to the
Strong
women.
Female Lead. Definitely get this. This is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, we also have our Fat Tire.
Our regulars are still here for sure. The Fat Tires.
Honestly, my
Golden
favorite
Monks.
beer. It's between these two, and for some reason, I'm always like matching the red, white, and blue aesthetic of this today.
Yeah, whoa!
This is mine.
Cheers!
Cheers to Mukbang!
Cheers, the audience!
Cheers, guys! Welcome to our story time.
No, cheers, the audience. Cheers.
Yeah.
We're gonna do like eating story time. I'll try not to chew too loudly.
So
I'm gonna have my first bite.
Yeah, also, since we're drinking beer, if we like burp, I'm really sorry.
Let's do dumps then.
We also have some sauces here.
Sauce.
First is the spicy mayo.
Sorry.
We have some duck sauce. And then also some little soy sauce here. Okay, let's show him the dumps.
Sorry, I don't know why I feel
Dumps.
the need to repeat everything.
Can I give me a dump?
Ooh, I love
Look
steamed
at it.
dumplings and spicy mayo. I don't think I've had spicy mayo since we graduated.
I think same for me actually.
Mm.
How do they taste, guys? This whole thing is like so sticky.
Wow.
Mm.
I can't remember the last time I had Asian food actually.
You know, the dumpling steamed, like the outside that's steamed,
That texture?
it's perfect. So, the story that we're telling today,
Hang on, I got it.
I mean, it's just like a part of the origin of this podcast. So we felt like at some point we wanted to share.
It's a good story, I feel like.
I
And
felt like
also,
I learned a lot from it.
We were kind of hinting at it in like our Friends We Choose episode. So we might as well just like tell the
Say
facts. Yeah. But also like this is not meant to be like a tea talk time or shady or anything like that. This is only one side of like the story, but it's also a key part of the origin of our 3 Unwise story, which reference to our origin story episode.
Yo, my dumps are split.
The dumps are already going in the dump. Because I already lost one of my chopsticks.
Oh my god.
Wait, how do you lose one?
Wait, what?
Did it fall?
Oh my god, it's like stuck to me. We're having scallion pancakes now, FYI.
Yeah. Should I tell
we'll
the
get to
story
the
while you
story.
guys are munching?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can start off.
Yeah.
Go
Another
ahead.
disclaimer is like telling this story is also just like, you know, it was a big learning and growing moment for the three of us. I think because like we learned so much from like this experience, like it's worth sharing so that other people can also like see what we learned.
It's all good intention.
Yeah, so long story short, we used to basically have a fourth co-host. Yeah, I mean, it's like something we had been talking about for a while. Our junior year, there used to be a fourth person in our friend group that like was basically another like quote unquote unwise woman. But at that point, like the show wasn't even called 3 Unwise or whatever. We were actually gonna call it Point Blank Period. Because that was like a phrase we used pretty often in our conversations, and now looking back on it, I'm glad we didn't like move ahead with that name. I mean, it's catchy, definitive. But it's also like I feel like it's almost now I would consider it kind of culturally insensitive. It's a very like finite title, right? Like it doesn't leave any room for interpretation or conversation. Like it doesn't start a conversation, doesn't continue a conversation. It just like ends it. We had recorded an entire practice episode like with this person and like kind of had like the logo kind of figured out and everything, and we were like talking to professors and other like podcasting people in UMass about like you know, where to host the podcast and like getting student publications involved. But then, you know, like shit happened with that friendship that like, you know, put the like project on the sideline. Like sometimes there's people in your life that like are there for a reason and a season. And I think in this case, like this person, like we still have a lot of love for them and like wish them well, but like ultimately like we had to end the friendship because like we were not getting out of it what we were putting into it, I think. And like, you know, that person was definitely going through a tough time. So like at the moment, I think like we were really like angry and confused and tired, and like we're out of like ideas on like how to like be there for this person and care for this person in the way that we needed. And on top of that, like they were doing stuff that hurt us. And like, you know, we've talked about all of this with this person and stuff. So like they know and we know, and like we've shared our perspectives, but like it's really tough when you like, you know, we've all been through our own mental health journeys, and a lot of it also for us like started in college, like our mental health journeys and us like seeking out help where we needed, or like doing a lot of important introspection, and that's always been a cornerstone of our relationship. So shit happened. We were like, if you want to like be friends with us and everything, like we probably can't go back to being like close friends, but like we can at least like, you know, still try to be there for you and help you out. Like we have a lot of love for you, like we believe in you and your dreams, and like essentially want you to be better. And like this person like never really hit us back or tried to initiate it, so like, you know, it is what it is. I'm just really glad that we moved ahead with this project, because I think like it's crazy, like that show would have been so different. Also, I know I'm using a fork, I'm sorry.
Like, actually, like, fun fact, when Sindhu, Teja, and this other person, like, came to me, I was actually very hesitant. I was, like, a little bit intimidated by the knowledge that I had about, like, the topics that they wanted to talk about. Didn't feel like I necessarily could speak on it or, like, have the words to say. It felt very scripted. I just wasn't comfortable, and like now I'm way more comfortable in talking, and I think it's also because like we had the time to think about it and kind of grow and then start this, where we didn't have that before. It built a stronger foundation.
Dude, that first recording too, so chaotic. You're absolutely right in saying that we were way too scripted, because the way we used to plan episodes at that point was like we would talk about the topic.
Really good.
Which one?
The pickled vegetable one.
Ooh,
oh my god!
Look how
dip it in
fat
the
that
spicy
one is.
mayo.
It is so fat, and it looks
it's-
like a rainbow. I also did.
I'm pretty sure my pants are gonna be unbuttoned soon.
Oh my god, this is so good.
That's why I had to. When you were talking, I had to like stifle my like. This one is bomb. Try it. The cream cheese. While you're trying that one, I will say, like, going back to that, talking about that first day, I'm like, I saw that day Priya was hesitant about like joining the podcast. We really wanted her because Teja and I always talk about it on our own. We almost like don't tell you, but like Priya is very much like the optimism and the heart and soul of our friend group and our podcast,
which you guys probably have
you
heard
guys
already.
can, like,
yeah,
tell.
you already know.
And so like
puns, the
that's why we like
energy.
really wanted her to be a part of it. And when she was hesitant for, you know, the reasons that she mentioned, I completely understand, but I'm like very proud of you for still stepping out of your comfort zone in such a way.
Yeah.
And like coming so far in the last year and a half. Like thinking back to that like day one recording and like where Priya was at and where we were all at with the podcast.
It wasn't even just, she was having a full-on anxiety attack, like 30 minutes before we had to leave for the library. Like, you really pushed through that day. And, like, I'm so proud that you did, because look at you now, sis.
I'm very thankful to that person for coming into our lives when they did, because I think they've left a lasting impact on, like, who I am. Like, they really helped me tap into, like, the creative side and be like, just because you're not creative in this traditional way doesn't mean you can't be creative and do like creative projects.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, that experience of like what the podcast was then shaped so much of what the podcast is now. That experience of like going through trials and errors and just like the tribulations of friendship.
Yeah.
Our whole motto, like the idea of making mistakes and asking questions and learning and growing in a space that's safe and admitting that we don't know everything because we're just going through life trying to gain wisdom. That was something that I didn't have 2 years ago, like that outlook.
Also, Tasia, you need to tell us about your...
Tell us about the spicy tuna roll.
Yeah, it's
I mean, five of the six pieces are gone.
This is
the tuna roll.
The tuna roll.
You know, it's funny. I'm not a fish person by any means. Like, I only...
Can I feed this to you?
Sure. Ooh, it's getting saucy.
All right, open up.
So,
okay, yeah.
Story behind the string beans. I went to UMass Amherst. As did we all. And there's a place in Amherst Center called Oriental.
Oriental Flavor, right?
Oriental Flavor, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a menu item that is the best menu item ever.
Of all time.
She's
obsessed.
Called the sauteed string beans. I didn't even like string beans because honestly, the way that like most white people cook string beans is just they just steam them. I'm so sorry. But I'm not, you know. String beans are always like steamed and like flavorless and like mushy. But these beans, they are perfectly garlicky.
Cool beans.
They're so simply cooked. Like it's literally just chilies, garlic, and oil, and it's just the best thing you've ever
put the
tasted.
bean in
They
your
also
mouth.
have, like the nuts, right? The peanuts in it.
Oh, and peanuts.
It's so good.
Yeah, and you put the bean in your mouth, and that bean she melts. She melts into your mouth.
Like garlicky, buttery
this, like,
goodness.
And it's just so good.
These two hoes literally every week used to get lunch together at Oriental, and literally I heard about these beans for like 2 years straight. We have very high standards for string beans here, so if this is gonna be a real test, I don't think it'll live up to Oriental, but this needs garlic.
It needs salt.
And salt.
But you know, they're still good. I'm dropping shit.
But, you know, anyway.
This is like a 3 out of 10.
Oh shit, wow.
Let me try a broccoli now.
Yeah.
This is a broccoli and a garlic sauce.
Okay, wait. Wait, so what were you saying, Sindhu, about creativity?
Whoa.
Sindhu just dies on camera. Okay, the broccoli is good, but it's also like a 5 to 6 out of 10.
I also like dove into the nudes.
How are the nudes?
Yeah,
I just want to try one nude.
it's aight.
I'll show the nudes.
Show me the nudes.
They're very eggy.
Not flavorful.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Shanghai Tokyo, but your
These
sushi
two-
bar, fire.
Sushi's
Your
lit.
sushi is bomb. Your dumplings were good. Your scallion pancakes were good, but these main dishes are not cutting it.
Texture's nice.
Yeah, the
it
udon
just
texture's
needs
nice.
like sauce seasoning.
Need some like salt.
So
I don't
go
like
eat
soy.
from them,
I don't
though.
need soy flavoring.
Go get their sushi. It's so good.
It legitimately is beautiful.
As a vegetarian,
Highly recommend. You know, what do you guys think that we learned in terms of like working with friends that like helped us kind of keep going with just the idea of doing a podcast together?
I think anytime you take up a project with your friends, especially your closest friends, like people always talk about that risk of like it affecting your friendship. It's important to separate the two, like your friendship and your work.
Yeah.
The friendship is a key part of like this podcast for sure, but I think at the end of the day, like recognizing that the podcast is not more important than your friendship.
Any kind of passion project should be fun at the end of the day.
That's
like,
honestly our main focus, I feel.
yeah, it's like just to have
if
fun and like see where this goes and like who resonates with it, because essentially this is just like a giant experiment we're running. Like we just wanted to, like we always say, we just wanted to put a mic to our intimate conversation and like see who vibed with it.
With my career or anything, like for me it's like if even one person listens to this and is like, oh, like I like these girls seem cool and like I fuck with what they're saying and I like their vibe and like wants to tune in again, like then this is all worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like honestly, especially with Behind the Vine, like I promise you, we're the biggest fans of Behind the Vine.
I am my biggest fan.
As vain as it is, I love watching our dynamic, even if other people are not watching.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuinely enjoying it. I think it goes to show that like you should also like regardless of opinion and all this kind of stuff, like, at the end of the day, like, you gotta be happy with the content that you're making. And like, yeah, when you work with friends, like, there'll be certain things that, like, frustrate you or, like, stuff that you have to work towards. But, like, I think, like, also the fact that, like, we're constantly, like, we're not putting pressure on this podcast. Like, really, like, this is supposed to be fun. Like, this is supposed to be a learning opportunity for us. And, like, you know, whatever opportunities come from it, like, at least personally for me, like, opportunities have come from it already.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing, like, the doors that have kind of been open and the communities I've able to join because of podcasting or the people I've gotten to know.
The thing about pressure that Tasia was saying is, like, that pressure is not really there, and I think that's what's making us productive. Like, there's, like, pressures in, like, every instance in terms of, like, you know, putting out the episode, editing, putting out the PR for it, like, getting guests, things like that. Ultimately, there's no pressure in this project, and that's why we're all so passionate about it.
I'm just having fun.
It's just the most fun thing, and, like look forward to it every week.
Yo,
I don't
what
want
is
it.
that?
Can I have it?
Yeah, I'm hella full.
That pickle, bro, gives a nice, like, acidy after salty taste.
It's okay,
to
that
it.
part wasn't pickled.
Oh.
The veggie sushi from here is bomb. Like,
Okay, I'm
no
sorry.
joke.
I'm just gonna be an Indian right now.
all this was shared to show that, like, we're all going through the same things. Like, I think that everything we said, someone watching this can point out a similar experience in their life. And again, I, like, stand by the fact that, like, we're all more similar than we are different.
You know, sometimes I just want to do this to this girl and this to this girl, but you know,
Yes.
you know what makes me not do that? Because I love her.
I love how you just burped over her. I love you.
So let's move
Get
on
it.
to our fortune cookies.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick this one.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
At random.
Just
someone
all
else
of
has to
these?
hand it to you.
Oh,
Have you
really?
heard that
Should I
tradition?
hand one to you?
Yes,
Yes.
you hand one first.
Okay.
Okay, pass it down. Okay.
Well, I'll pass it to Sindhu.
Yeah.
Or you
Okay.
pass
My
this to
fortune better
Priya.
be good.
And then
Yeah.
I
Okay,
just want all
guys.
of these to say
Good
the
thing.
pandemic is ending
I
and you'll
know.
be vaccinated before the summer starts.
And I can travel again.
Okay, so this one says, it takes all sorts to make up the world. Which
Whoa.
I really fuck
Oh.
with. Everybody's different for a reason, and, like, there's no point of, like, judging other people for the decisions and the choices that they make, because that's true to them, and, like, that's who, like, it takes all sorts to make up the world.
If we were all the
different
same,
niches.
this world wouldn't work the way that it does.
Yeah.
Oh my
no,
god, the lucky numbers are literally all of my favorite roulette numbers.
You gamble, bro?
Get
This
it?
one sounds like something my dad would say, which is
What?
kind of scary. Life is like a dog sled team. If you ain't the lead dog, the scenery never changes.
You want the lead dog?
The
Nothing
scenery
changes.
never changes.
You're not gonna see the good scenery.
What? There's no social mobility. This is bullshit. Okay, what are my lucky numbers? 34, 28, 19, 43, 41, 7. 7? 7, I fucking...
9.
So mine is good news will be coming from The Office. Which
A
is-
promotion!
I don't. No. That's too early for me. It's too
What do you
early for me.
mean?
That's also
I know.
funny that you got that because you're the only
Only
one who has a
employed one
job.
right now, yeah.
That is interesting.
What are your numbers?
Okay.
45, 13, 30, 16, 12, 34.
Wait, I want to see
12
if
is
there's any...
interesting.
Hold on. That wraps up
That wraps
this,
up
our first ever story time.
our first ever mukbang.
Yay!
Definitely go to Shanghai, Tokyo and get the sushi.
Get the sushi, maybe not everything
Yeah.
else, but art scallion pancakes
And dumps.
and dumps. Thank you guys for joining us. Please be sure to check out our podcast, catch up on all the latest episodes. We drop every other week. And sound off in the comments below, you know, what you thought about our story. Agree, disagree with our conclusions. This is the 3 Unwise Women.
This is Sindhu.
Priya.
Tasia P.
Peace.
Peace.